For part 8 of our review, we've got 2 more sections left, part 8 and part 9. We're looking at expanding cubic functions from transformation form to standard form. And this is the one where you actually have to write out all the factors, do multiplications, multiply your binomials together, then do a binomial times a trinomial, distribute your a value, and subtract your k value. Now, that's a lot to do, but we'll do it step by step. So the first thing we need to do is we've got a cubic function here written in transformation form, which is also called vertex form. But it's called transformation form because you can see the transformations that take place from this format. You can see your h value, your k value, which tell you the vertical and horizontal shifts of your cubic, and the a value, which tells you whether it's reflected or not, or whether it's compressed or stretched. So that's why this is called transformation form. So what we want to do is we want to expand this out to standard form. And standard form of a cubic function is ax cubed plus bx squared plus cx plus d. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to write it out with the factors all written individually. So x plus 2 cubed, that just means x plus 2 times itself 3 times. Okay, so I've got that written out. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to do a distribution. So I'm going to multiply this factor times this factor. So we're going to bring the 2 here. I'm going to keep it there. F of x there. So let's do our polynomial multiplication. I'm going to take this. X times x is x squared. X times 2 is 2x. Now let's do the other one. Positive 2. 2 times x is 2x, and 2 times 2 is 4. And we still have the x plus 2 and the minus 12. Okay? So what we can do now to make life a little bit easier is we can combine these two. So I'm going to rewrite this as 2 times x squared plus 4x, because that's 2x plus 2x, plus 4 times x plus 2 minus 12. Okay, that's the first step. The next step is to actually get rid of the other set of factors here. I'm going to now multiply this binomial times this trinomial. So I'm going to take the x here. Again, we bring down the 2. The 2 can't go anywhere. So I have x times x squared, and that is x cubed. Then I have x times 4x, which is 4x squared. Then I have x times 4, which is 4x. Now let's do the second factor, or the second term of this factor. 2 times x squared is 2x squared. 2 times 4x is 8x. And 2 times 4 is 8. So once again, I'm going to combine some like terms in here to make life a little bit easier. The 2 stays there. I've got x cubed, but I have a 4x squared and a 2x squared. I can bring that together as 6x squared. And then I've got a 4x and an 8x. I can bring that together as 12x plus 8 minus 12. So, moving on, now we're going to take this 2 and distribute it out. So 2 times x cubed is 2x cubed. 2 times 6x squared is 12x squared. 2 times 12x is 24x. And 2 times 8 is 16, and then we have minus 12 on the end. I can now combine that. So I've got f of x equals 2x cubed plus 12x squared plus 24x, and then 16 minus 12 is 4. So this is the expanded or standard form. This is standard which is what we also call expanded form, that is the standard form that you get when you expand this particular vertex form. So let's do another example. Let's look at the second example. And the second example that we have is number 39. And number 39 is f of x equals x minus 5 cubed minus 10. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write it out expanded. So I've got f of x equals x minus 5 times x minus 5 times x minus 5 minus 10. And this is going to be an easier one because our a value is 1. In the first one, our a value was 2, and we had to do an extra distribution. We won't have to do that here. So anyway, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do my multiplication. I'm going to do these two factors. So let's begin. I have x, so x times x is x squared. X times negative 5 is negative 5x. And then let's do negative 5. Negative 5 times x is negative 5x. And negative 5 times negative 5 is positive 25. And then I have x minus 5 still there and minus 10 still there. But remember, as before, we can combine our like terms to make life a little bit easier. So I've got x squared minus 10x, because negative 5x and negative 5x is negative 10, plus 25 times x minus 5 minus 10. All right, now let's do the second set. So f of x equals, I'm going to take x and I'm going to distribute. So x times x squared is x cubed. X times negative 10x is negative 10x squared. And x times 25 is 25x. Negative 5. Negative 5 times x squared is negative 5x squared. Negative 5 times negative 10x is positive 50x. And negative 5 times 25 is negative 125 minus 10 on the end. So all we have to do now is we have to combine the like terms. I don't have to do a distribution. All I have to do is like terms. So like terms here, I have f of x equals x cubed. And let's look at my x squared terms. I have negative 10x squared and negative 5x squared. That gives me negative 15x squared. I have 25x and 50x, which gives me 75x. And I have negative 125 and negative 10, which gives me negative 135. And this is your complete expanded standard form of this particular cubic. So we have time. We're going to do one more example. And for this example, we're going to look at the last one here. We've got number 40. So let's do number 40. So I've got number 40. And number 40 is f of x equals negative 3 x plus 1 cubed. And there's no extra term added on, which will be easy for us because that means that it's going to save us some hassle as far as doing extra steps. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write it out expanded with all the factors. So that'll be negative 3 times x plus 1 times x plus 1 times x plus 1. And then I'm going to multiply. So my next step is going to be f of x equals, the negative 3 stays. X times x is x squared. X times 1 is x. 1 times x is x. And 1 times 1 is 1. So we're going to like this one a little bit better. It's a little bit easier. So let's combine our like terms to make life easier. Negative 3 x squared. I've got x plus x, which is 2x, plus 1, and then x plus 1. So now my next step is going to be to multiply these two factors out. So let's start with x. And once again, I'm going to keep that negative 3 there. X times x squared is x cubed. X times 2x is 2x squared. X times 1 is x. Now let's do the positive 1. Positive 1 times x squared is x squared. Positive 1 times 2x is 2x. Positive 1 times 1 is 1. Now I can combine like terms, as I always say, to make our life easier. So I have x cubed. I have 2x squared and x squared. That gives me 3x squareds. And I have x and 2x, which gives me 3x. And I've got 1. So now my last step is going to be to distribute the terms. So I'm going to distribute the negative 3 out. So f of x is going to equal negative 3 times x cubed is negative 3x cubed. Negative 3 times 3x squared is negative 9x squared. Negative 3 times positive 3x is negative 9x. And negative 3 times 1 is negative 3. And that is it. And that is your complete standard form expanded from your original, which was in transformation form.